Hope everyone's having a good day. Today we're going to talk about consistency, the number one problem that players face. We're going to be talking about what makes up consistency, how pros approach it, and common misunderstandings around it. If you're interested in these seminars, join the Discord, link is in the description. Boys, girls, I hope you enjoy the video.
Anyone want to guess the number one thing students have told me over the past few months that they're having trouble with? What is the number one thing everyone has trouble with? Aim, game sense, inconsistency, but really consistency. Wow, amazing. Inconsistency is the number one problem students face. I've heard it repeatedly over and over again. Thank you. You got it right here. Is some Viper and Chamber fan art for you. You got it. Congrats, T. Don't show that to the server. Inconsistency is the number one problem students face. Why do some games do well, but others we fail miserably? Consistency is what defies the greatest from the great. The act of choosing the route that yields the best results consistently. A great way to understand this is by diving into the mind of a high-ranked player, because how they think is a constant influx of information they adapt to. Each round is ever changing. They're constantly following a train of thinking. Where is this player? Where could they be? Where is my teammates? Where could they not be? Good quote for this is, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. Sun Tzu, Art of War. So the first and most important thing that leads to consistency is your mentality. Everything in Valorant comes down to how you think. This isn't a game where you can go on autopilot and rely on muscle memory. It's a first-person game of chess. Adapting, predicting, and recognizing the situation and the best play we know of. If a mind is going to be distracted, tired, hungry, it will underperform. I'm hoping most of you have ate and slept already, so we'll focus on the distracted part of the mind. This is the first step to becoming consistent, by taming our mind. To tame our mind, we need to find a way to get into a good headspace before we play the game. Something that lets your body and your mind know it's game time, something that increases your focus, concentration. Most players find this in their warm-up. Even if it doesn't help them get warm, it helps them get ready to play. But it's not limited to just your warm-up. It can also be a few deep breaths, some breakfast, music playlist, anything. Other professional sports players like Michael Jordan have a pre-match routine. If you're in the VIC Discord, this is also found in the pre-game routine channel. Find what makes you ready for game time. Once you're ready for game time, it's about maintaining it. If a teammate disconnects, we make a bad play, or we don't get the result we want, how does this affect us? The main focus is internal versus external things. So you focus internally as much as possible. You try to not let the external stuff distract. So a teammate disconnects, that's an external thing. You can't control whether or not your teammate disconnects, but internally you can control how you play off of it. You have an Orban spawn, you have better economy. It requires more teamwork now. We make a bad play. That's unfortunate. We have to learn from it. We have to continue on. We can't just give up at that moment. If we lose a round, we don't get the result we want. Again, gotta let it go. There's the next round. We have new economy now. Whole new situation, whole new round. We play with the circumstances we have. So you've lost this round, and it's on to the next one. Having this next round mentality, really good. You can't do big things if you're distracted by the little things. But as you're playing the game, try to follow your mind and see where it likes to go. See if it's focusing a lot on your teammates or if it's focusing on your play. The hardest thing is going to be this during game mentality, by the way. When you're playing and there are constant things going on, it makes it really hard to focus on just you. But it's also the most important because you have to learn to recognize your mistakes and you have to learn to continue to improve on those mistakes during the game. And because you're going to be so mentally distracted during the game because you're so focused, it will be more difficult. Post-game, it's important to stay in that same headspace. So if you're lost, if you got a bad win, a good win, a bad loss, a good loss, reset, take a break, get off, accept the feelings that come. If you got a good win, think of what you did good that game, be proud of it, decide whether or not you want to continue on. It's important that you always try to keep that mental in the consistent space, the improvement space. Something happened, it wasn't great, we didn't like it, we accept that it happened though, and we're continuing on with that. The next important thing besides mentality is your gameplay. So how exactly are you playing a game? A lot of players play the game like they're rolling a dice, and they're trying to get it to land on 6 every time when there's 5 other sides of that dice. So how you play your game should be trying to weigh the dice into your favor, into the 6. High-level players do this by predicting every possibility. They do this by looking into the numbers, man advantage, man disadvantage, the last known positions, minimap, timings, minimaps awareness, agents, and player behavior. Man disadvantage, for example, means our odds of winning are low, so we must play aggressive. Man advantage means our odds are high, and we should play to our numbers. We should play trades. So this comes down to playing with the team and finding what you can do to best help the situation. Gameplay consistency comes down to predicting every possibility. If you're having trouble achieving gameplay consistency, either you're not aware of the intel that lets you prepare for these situations, or you're aware of the intel but you're not sure how to play in that situation. That's basically it for consistency. Any questions on that? Just hit the hard stop third time, you're good to go. How do you start to become more aware? You have to take time to seriously review your games and be in the moment and constantly be focusing on your awareness. So when you hop into your next game, focus on one piece of awareness. There's a lot of different types, right? Footsteps, bullets, agents, abilities, minimaps. Try to focus on one. Maybe just trying to see on the minimap if you can track everyone during the round. That's what I'd most recommend. But that's what I would start to do, become more aware. I heard some people watch a playlist of their own highlights to hype themselves up. Oh, that's a cool idea. What are some good questions to ask oneself to find better odds in a game? I like this question. It's a good question. I think the number one question you should ask yourself is where certain players are on the other team, like where they've been spotted or where they've been playing, and where your teammates are currently on the map. I'm trying not to give a specific example. If you see a certain player on C site and you want to rotate to A, how much time would it take for them to get there before you? And you need to know where that C player is before you make that A rotate. The other thing is look at your abilities. What abilities can you use to make a play? If there's nothing you have, is there something your teammates have? How necessary is it that we make this play? You talk about good mental. What happens in the event that I have a teammate who just become tilted? They're fully convinced the game is lost and they're doing nothing but flaming is blaming. How do you handle that? Are their comms worth it? Or is it best to me to move on? This is a good question because it's something I struggled with for a while, and I remember asking this question to someone else before. Because usually I don't mute people like that, and I just continue to play and see if they can give useful comms. If someone's fully convinced the game is lost, you can either take like the active approach, which is to try to lift them up again, or you can play the passive approach, which is to mute them and move on. It's up to you. I think the active one's better, but it requires more effort. So just complimenting them on their game, being like, yo, good job that round. Let's just say it's a Reyna, because probably is. Good job that game, Reyna. Good job that round, Reyna. Nice flash, nice kills, good hold on site. Trying to make it a more positive, uplifting environment. One that I didn't talk about was how people actually communicate to create consistency. And I'm going to mention now because it's actually really important. You will see this in a lot of Radiant ranked games. They are constantly communicating to create consistency. They're talking about careful flank. They're talking about set up crossfire with me. If something bad happens, they know like it's okay to lose a round that's very winnable, but it's not okay to let it affect your mental. So in the game, they would be like, all right, guys, we lost that. Let's just go next. Like, we still got this. Thickest Valo agent. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's community discussion. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for your questions, for your hard work. Appreciate y'all. Hope it can help. Best of luck out there.